And this is what inspires me. It inspires me, and I believe Bob will tell you a little bit about the NEPA Tea Party, but I'm really proud to call him my friend and my Tea Party comrade, and I'd love to welcome Bob Orban.
Absolutely. There you go. Bob Orban.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Yeah, I just wanted to spend a few minutes to tell you a little bit about the NEPA Tea Party. We formed back in early 2009. Myself and maybe many of you, I was discouraged and upset with what the direction of the country for probably the better part of the last 15 years. But you know, as we know, a number of things came together in late 2008 and 2009, and the Tea Party started to emerge. And in that same vein, we got our group together in early 2009. And I think where we're at this point is we look to represent patriots and motivated people throughout northeastern Pennsylvania, which basically represents the 10th, the 11th, and the 17th districts of Pennsylvania. And we, at first, I like to phrase it up in that we, basically I see it Tea Party 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0, and where we're at this point. Tea Party 1.0 was a number of people that found themselves in the same place. Upset, angry, the direction of the country, and just looking for a place to come together. We had our first rally on tax day back in 2009. And at that point, it was a gathering place for people of like minds to rally, get flags out, get together, get press, and be noticed and be heard. And more and more people were attracted to that. Then as we started to move into the election periods of 2010, I would say that's when Tea Party 2.0 started. We took that rallying and continue it, and then we moved towards wanting to fire the wrong people. And I'm very proud to say that we worked very hard in firing Paul Kondrasky, Arlen Spector, and Chris Carney. And thank you. And then, you know, when we did work very hard for those individuals, but then once they got to Washington, as happens with many politicians, they get pulled in many directions. Part of the problem isn't the individual, of course. It's I would say that it's the beast that's down in Washington, and and what the last video that we saw before the song by Krista described is humanity and individuals have the same weaknesses now as they did, you know, 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago. We are the same creatures, and that's why we believe that the Constitution is the perfect document that allows us to control power and yet have a limited form of government. So with that thinking, we felt that part of Tea Party 2.0 is to holding candidates that we fought for, holding their feet to the fire. And Mike Lacey and I and the rest of the Tea Party went up against that. And while we agree with Lou Barletta and some of the other candidates on some things, we had some issues like the Nat Gas Act. We felt it was very anti-free market. It interfered with the free market process, and there was other problems with it. So we were able to, and that one thing that's great about having a group is you can pull together and you have a voice much stronger than you ever would on your own. So we had sit-down meetings with Lou Barletta, and it took us some time, and we had a number of other groups and individuals upset with us, and I guess, like Mike was mentioning, that's what can come along with leadership. And you know, we had some of our friends, you know, get angry with us, but we knew it was the right thing to do, and we're back in, I believe it was late February of this year or early March, Lou Barletta, who was actually one of the sponsors on the bill, dropped his support. We're still working on, you know, our 10th district with Tom Marino, but I think we'll get there. And so basically what I'm saying is that we must hold their feet to the fire. And now I think Tea Party 3.0 is to work beyond that, to have constitutional candidates, to support them where we can, to look, to search out, and we're organized in a way in which we can endorse as well if we feel that's necessary. We were very upset when the Pennsylvania GOP endorsed candidates before the primary. We had, for U.S. Senate, we had some excellent candidates, and we had a number of them speak at our meetings. And we were very upset that they would endorse. So we felt that the only thing that we could do as a group is to organize. They have millions of dollars and a big voice. So we decided to endorse this year. And you could stop at our booth and look at who those candidates are. But I think now we need to look to educate where we can, people about the Constitution, look to back candidates where we can. Sam Hoare, who we're endorsing, will be here later today. So I think that's where we're at. The Tea Party is a very fractured group, and I think that's both a strength and a weakness. But we have Republicans, we have Democrats, and we have many independents that are active in our group. I personally would probably consider myself a Whig, but most people don't know what that is anymore these days. But I would just like to invite you to come to our meetings. Our next meeting will probably be in June. You could always stop by our website, nipateaparty.com. And we have people from all groups that are welcome. Much like Ron Paul, we believe that we may not agree on everything, but we don't, when that happens, we don't cave on our principles. We work on the areas that we agree with, and we move forward there, and we forget about the other areas. We work on those tomorrow. And I would say, even I stopped down at the Occupy Wall Street in Philadelphia to talk to some of those people, and most of them we didn't have a common vision, but there was about 10% of that group that I could really say that they were angry, they upset. I would say the direction of their solutions was different than ours, but the fact that they're motivated individuals that want change and see problems, and that we could have a discussion with, I think was very encouraging. And I would use Ron Paul's vision and thinking of working on areas that we can agree to move forward as a country is key. So I invite you to our meetings. I think it's very important that we have an independent Tea Party, and it needs motivated patriots to keep the movement alive. And I would invite you to come, and if you're from out of the area, look at your own group, and let's keep the movement moving along, and thank you for coming today.
Thank you, Bob.
Bob said he couldn't speak.
He did say that.
I'm going home and letting him do that stuff.
I was trying to get word he was going to go over.